let's talk about physical development and health in emerging adulthood. Young adulthood is the time when several physical abilities peak. Height, strength, muscle development, coordination, dexterity, and sensory acuity are all at their peak. Most of these abilities then start to decline in middle age. So young adults are really at the peak of health. Death from disease is relatively rare, especially during the 20s. Obviously, lifestyle factors can influence health, and we'll talk more about this, especially as we get into midlife. But for now, think about what are some of those lifestyle factors. So smoking, drinking, especially binge drinking, nutrition, exercise, even SES is actually a contributing factor here as well. So most senses remain acute through middle age or old age, but we do see that hearing begins to decline in the late 20s, especially for high-pitched tones. Now, let's move on to cognitive development. So I want you guys to just think a little bit about how we should view intelligence in adults. Most theories on intelligence are multidimensional. They identify several types of intellectual abilities. Now, there's some disagreement as to what those dimensions are, but we see that there are many different facets related to intelligence. So Boltis and colleagues introduced 3 other concepts as vital to development in general, but we can use these concepts when looking at intelligence in adults. So multidirectionality is this idea that some aspects of intelligence improve and other aspects decline during adulthood. Interindividual variability is this idea that patterns of change vary between people. And then plasticity is the idea that various abilities are not fixed, but they can be modified under the right conditions at just about any point in adulthood. So you can see that intelligence is complex and it's multifaceted. So Boltis actually distinguishes between fluid and crystallized intelligence. So these are this is really an example of multidimensionality because we have fluid intelligence and we have crystallized intelligence. So fluid intelligence consists of abilities that make people flexible and adaptive thinkers. Fluid abilities generally decline across adulthood. Crystallized intelligence then reflects knowledge that people acquire through life experience and education in a particular culture. So crystallized abilities improve until late life. So crystallized intelligence is more like your Jeopardy knowledge or like your Wheel of Fortune kind of knowledge. So this graph is really helpful in depicting this idea of multidirectionality and multidimensionality. So again, the multidimensional piece is that we've got 2 factors of intelligence working here, crystallized and fluid. So that's the multidimensional piece. Well, it's multidirectional because you can see they're moving in different directions. So this crystallized intelligence, this is also known as pragmatics, and this will come up again. But this crystallized intelligence is gradually increasing over the course of the lifespan. This fluid intelligence is really peaking here around age 25, and then it's slowly declining over the course of the lifespan. So these different directions really illustrate that multidirectional piece. Now, again, if we come back to Boltis's ideas here and his dimensions, so again, it's multidirectional. We also see that there's interindividual variability, and this means that this whole graph might look different for somebody else. Somebody else might show a greater increase in their crystallized intelligence or a greater decrease in their fluid intelligence. And then we also know that it's plastic, right? That even if someone's fluid intelligence is going down here, well, we could intervene. We could intervene to maybe lessen that pace, maybe make that slope a little bit less steep. steep, for example. So again, this is just a really good example of how we should view intelligence in adults, and you can really see the dynamic nature of it here.